She has been head organizer for Latvian nationwide song and dance festivals, World Choir Games, Riga 2014, and currently she's the artistic and creative producer for Riga Light Festival, Star Riga. But for us, the most important part is that she was the CEO or artistic curator for Riga 2014 European Capital of Culture program. Today she's here, and her name is Civle. The floor is yours.
I'm a technician as well.
Thank you. Everybody who working with the European Capital of Culture projects must be a multitasking person. Yeah, it's a great pleasure to be with you, and for me it means to go back for 6 years and to look forward to 2024. And what I will do today, I will share my experience, of course. I will share my thoughts after European Capital of Culture. Also some emotions probably, because you can't do any cultural event without emotions. As Angela already told, I have a very big experience in cultural field, and on that time when we started to work with the Riga European Capital of Culture project, I was director of culture department of Riga City Council. And I was with this event from first day till last day, which is quite unusual for European Capital of Culture, because in a way this project is quite often under political pressures, but not in our case. But why? Because of big and wise, smart diplomacy what we did. Because in these many years we worked with European Capital of Culture in Riga. 2 cultural ministers was changed, mayor was replaced 1 month before, jury attended Riga. It was still this state elections for parliament, so different political changes. But this is one of the reasons why you who are working with this project, this is not only a cultural project. Or you can say in different way that how we did. We said that culture is positive force. Culture is everywhere. Culture is some positive force or force majeure what can change many things in the lives of people, in the cities. Yeah, and the title of our program was Force Majeure. This is not cultural meaning, but at the same time, I don't know why it is jumping all the time. This title helped us to reach those who are not connected with culture. Lawyers asked, but why force majeure? This is something what we are always writing in agreements. Why? What connection with culture? And then we started a conversation, and we started to tell him, but culture is everywhere. Culture can help you in that and that and that way. So, some figures about our event. It's after we counted that it was many 12,000 participants, 100 cultural institutions took part. What is really important that we attracted very high, very many event visitors, 1.5 million through all the year. It's quite a big number for Latvia. Good reach in TV broadcast because of international events. Program balance, 63% free of charge events, but it was necessary because of situation on 2008, 2009, and after this big crisis, big economical crisis. And of course, number 18.9 tourists grow. Of course, not all tourists came to Riga for our events, but it's not another way how we can show that the tourism numbers are raising. So, and more than 3,000, near to 4,000 volunteers. Very diverse program, big international events, important events for our country and for our society, and many new creations. This is year when we had a real boost of new creations in cultural field. But this is question: what really is the European Capital of Culture program? For whom we are doing this project? This question we asked ourselves before we started to work with this program, because there are many answers to that. Are we doing that because such a decision was made in Brussels, that we have to be European capital? Is it for Europe? Is it for tourists? Is this program for whom is it? And this is one very, very important question to understand, because main audience of this event, and this was our decision, that main audience for this event is our local people. This is for us. We are doing this program for ourselves. And this is point from which we, angle which we look at on each project we created in Riga 2014. Of course, European Capital of Culture is opportunity. It's opportunity to make changes. If you want to change something here in your city, in Tartu, do it under this title. Because it's a good brand, it's powerful, it helps to make changes. You can change everything. You can change, but what we did, we changed it. First of all, we changed the Riga long-term development strategy, because there was no word culture in it. It was just mentioned by the way somewhere that also culture is in the city. We changed it and put one of main goals, second in the line, that Riga is a city of high culture, open to international cultural activities. It was first step what we did, because we understand that, as I always say, that the documents are for worst cases. You take this document if you can do something, but political documents is very important, because behind these documents stay the money. And the second thing what we did was with documents, we raised attention to suburbs of the city, because in Riga, of course, Riga is a nice city. There are many nice architecture. There are many cultural institutions in the center of city. But in suburbs, living biggest part of our inhabitants. And we raised attention that the suburbs and what happened in suburbs is important. Of course, it's our Riga specific, but in the meaning of audience, our new building of new library was opened in year 2014. This picture is from 2013. Now already for 6 years our library is open. And European Capital of Culture here helped to raise attention about this building, about possibilities what this building gives to to citizens, and from first day when library was open, it was very high attendance in the library. And it was very important because all process of building of this landmark was very always under discussions. Why so big money? Do we need that and all this stuff? And finally, with the help of Riga, European Capital of Culture, this negative attitude turned to totally positive attitude. Second, this is big opportunity for artists and cultural institutions to get international partners to set international agenda for the institutions and for those who are taking part in the program for many years ahead. And in Riga, especially museums was happy about possibility, because one director of museum, Riga Bourse Museum, she said, Diana, we worked 10 years with our same museum in Paris to have exhibition, and now because of Riga is European Capital of Culture, they accepted it without any discussions. So this is possibility what can use each institution and each artist. We had large-scale events, international events, European Film Award, and World Choir Games in the program. It is important to have international events, to big events, and this is part of city marketing, that the city can decide, oh yes, we need more tourists, how to get, how we can find them and bring here to Tartu. Each large-scale international event has their audience. It follows the events. And it was with us very successfully because, for example, after World Choir Games, we held European Choir Games in 2017, and we created new format of international choir singing Eurovision choir. So, speaking about legacy, this is one of very good example of legacy of Riga 2014. And very, very important thing. Are you ready? This is simple but very meaningful question, because this year is totally different from other years in your city. Each day in Riga we had 2, 3, 4, 5 events, which for Riga, which is big city, is very high number. Each day like marathon of events. It is not very difficult, not only for you as organizers, it's difficult for audience. Are they ready to visit such many events? It's a question of programming. It's a question to put program in the right way, that anyway you will have a good event, but there will be not visitors on it. And of course, part of this question is how to prepare your audience, how to prepare them, be ready for such a year with so many events. And we started our preparation for communication strategy with evaluating of statistics. We understand that we have around 15% of audience which will follow our events anyway. It's no problem with this part, they will follow anyway. That's why we decide that our communication will turn to those 85% which are totally not interested in cultural events. They are far away from that. They became angry when somebody say, oh, this big artist. Yeah. And that's why we decided our visual communication will be very simple. And this was always a question and quarrels with artists who said, why you choose such stupid characters, as we call these? It's not about art, it's not about us, but from other side, from audience side, it was very good, because they understand, oh, this is not this stupid high art, this is something simple. And we involved them with such a trick that, oh, yeah, this is easy, let's try. Let's go there. Let's see, probably this is not this high art. This is something for us. And the same approach we use in our portal, our website, where we all articles, all descriptions made in very simple language. Again, artists came to us and said, oh, this is not about my art because I have, and then a long line of strange words which understand only he or she. So, but we tried to translate these high artistical ideas in simpler way. Of course, not loathe them, but explain in simple, usual language. Esplanade, and here we can switch to one video. This was place, something similar that you have no this closed street, but we put this sculpture building already on 2013 as pilot project. The place, information center, or place where everybody can come and do something artistical. And this is part of our announcement of our program. And this is an activity which is did by volunteers. They decide that we want to do something interesting. This is our mayor who pushed first book. And yeah, different such kind of activities happened already from summer of 2013 in this culture summer house, as we call it. And you can guess what will be last book. Of course, program of 2013. Thank you. Yeah, this is what I am speaking. Yeah, this is about visibility in the city. This is one of tools you can use to involve your audience in activities of European Capital of Cultural Year, or already before the year started. Stories. I could say that ECOC is an art of storytelling. You need stories about your project. If you can't say what is your project in 1-2 sentences, you don't know what you are really doing. You have to do that. You have make a short story, and you have to make emotional story with some histories behind why you are doing this event. I already told about this, but never forget about good, deep content, because content is God, and audience is not stupid. They very quickly understand that you are doing this project only for yourself because you like it, but you don't care about the audience. And they will understand that this is nothing. This is not interesting. Why this is just wasting of time and wasting of money. Yeah, probably quickly, because I'm running out of time, about our program. Just with some examples. We have 6 thematic lines, and for each thematic line there was curator who are worked with project developers of his thematic line. Also, I was one of the curators. My line was Riga Carnival. Amber Wayne. And this is example about the story staying behind. This is ancient Amber Road in the times when it was those big trading roads in Roman Empire time. It was, probably everybody knows, Silk Road. On that time, one of 5 biggest trading routes was Amber route. And we based all our international program on this, on the story about ancient Amber Road. Connection between Baltic states and the Mediterranean states, Roman Empire, north-south direction. This was story behind each project in this thematic line. Roadmap, and roadmap was the program closest to the inhabitants. It was about suburbs, but not only participation and community projects, but also such kind of projects, for example, to find this empty wall and make street art on that. Survival kit, quite similar with your title. This was about contemporary art and old skills, ancient skills. Freedom Street, part of our history. One of key projects was former KGB house, because this house stayed empty for many years, and it was psychological barrier to go in this. It even was plans to totally take out it. But we did pilot projects, we sung in this house, we did different activities there, and finally we opened historical part as it was, and we did 6 exhibitions there, contemporary art exhibitions, and it was many emotional moments in this house. Thirds for the Ocean, concert born in Riga in that. We built special, because we have no concert hall, acoustic concert hall in Riga, and we built special stage as open air acoustic concert hall, and big artists, because in Latvia we have many well-known artists all in the world, as Ervina Garanč and Sergei Antonio, who are here. And yeah, Riga Carnival with summer celebration, summer solstice celebration, big event we did in the Song Festival ground, Light Festival, Star Riga, of course. And what I already told to my colleagues, that opening is very important part. I think I will skip all stories about that, but we could look a video from opening. One of key events was a live chain of book lovers, 2 kilometers from old the city library to new library. We bring books, real books covered in special plastic from old library to new library. And you can see all key projects there. Neighborhoods, one very, very important part.
Yes, right away.
Wow.
Yeah, Some words about participation. It's important to make audience involved. But what is, of course, to participate, to do something, to get new experience, this is just part of that. Audience have to see result. Result, what about they have to say that I was part of it, I did it. And just in some pictures about pilot projects with cleanup and with repairing of the yards. In the suburbs of Riga, all families took part. Of course, we wanted to involve them because first attitude was why, and there was no projects that we came, did, and then said, there it is. We started from involving them, and they did, and we said, what a nice result. We did it together. And I remember in this square, one old lady came to me and said, you know, don't step on the grass. This is what we repaired. So, and I cried because this is what we want to achieve. Project with kids and seniors. They seeded the plants together in elderly house classes, the school children came to elderly house, they seeded the plants, and then after these plants they bring to our culture summer house. I think we will skip this video. We can see it if we have time later. And I can't again, Ernie, help me. What I suggest to you, I suggest to make a checklist for you. And this is nothing unique. This is by Joe Goldblatt and management theory. But what I did, I changed it to under European Capital of Culture title. Ask these questions to you. Ask why you are doing it, why your event is in this program. To whom? What is your target group? Is it all inhabitants of Tartu? Is it one community? And organize your event in the way which your target group is. When is right time to organize event? This is your common work to put program in a way that one event not disturb another event. That those people who want to go, that they not need to make decision, oh, I will not go there, but I will go there. You are competing between yourself. Where to organize? This is conditions of the venue or location where you are organized. Is it understandable how they can find the right way, understand what is where? This is management on site, very important part. Check it. And 5, what? I already mentioned, what is the name of your event? Formulate it in 1-2 sentences. What is novelty in your project? Because in Riga, in the program of European Capital of Culture was not regular events, just new events. I don't know how it is here, but novelty must be there. Because audience waits something miracles, something unexpected, something what they don't see before. Again about stories and some more questions, and be ready to manage all risks. We see what happened now with COVID. We understand that an event can be everything. Be ready for plan A, B, C, maybe D. I think I could finish here because probably to answer questions is more efficient now.
Yes.
It helps, of course.
I will join you. Would you like to sit or do you prefer standing up still? That's done. Okay. So I have a few questions, and I could already see that some people ask from the Civle system as well. Maybe I will stand here, then it's easier. So, thank you for giving us such a nice overview of what is European Capital of Culture, what are the dimensions where should we think, and giving tips like what to really take into consideration. So really, really thank you for that. But here we have cultural managers, developers who are actually trying to do one project for the program. So what would you give as an advice for these organizers for trying to make a great program? Where should they start? What should they think right now? You've covered some topics, but what would be your tips?
These are my advices. Dream big and fly high and open your wings wide. Not think the usual project is not interesting, not for you, not for audience. Do something crazy. Do something what you think now that it's not possible. Decide to do that, and you have 5 years you will develop, and you will find a way how to realize your dream or your idea. Make changes, not stay on the same place, not do the same as somebody already did, do different. And do locally, think globally. I could tell here this one example I told you yesterday. When we work, there are many monitoring meetings in Brussels, and we went time by time there, and they asked us serious questions and so on. But from very beginning, they said, "Please, no folklore in your program." I said, "Why? Folklore is why we are unique." "Oh, no. And then I said, "Yeah, but folklore is not something like beaten in the stone. This is a live process. Why you are so..." Okay, we finalized this conversation. I understand that anyway we will do as we want. And we created this, what I show photo in song celebration ground, some kind of performance as dance festivals are. But about summer solstice, with a story of a love story from with one guy from Latvia and one girl from another country in Europe. So this kind of very nice story behind, and national style. And the chairman of jury came in private visit to see it. After this, he came to me and said, "Diana, this was great. Now I understand what I mean, what you mean with saying that folklore is life process. This is not something ancient." And yeah, and we have that, you have that. Don't be afraid. Do local, but think global.
Yes. Since I'm a program line manager from Tartu with Europe, so I think this is very important for us as well to find where we are unique and spread it to the world. Okay. Yesterday I also asked you, like, what would you do differently as a program developer or manager right now? I know that you were artistic curator, and many things were very successful. Some things maybe didn't go as planned, but as a project manager, what would you do differently right now, if you would start again?
Mainly all our projects was realized. There was, of course, some projects which wasn't realized because we set our aims a little bit too high in the budget meaning. Idea was good, plans was elaborated, but we understand that we have not enough budget and we can't get sponsors in that times to realize this was one very good project. I think that in general, it's easier to say what we would do the same. We would do this process of common collaboration and common creating of the program as you are doing. This is a very good way. Congratulations for you. If you already now working together, it's great because you all together do this program. This is not they and you. You are one big team of European Capital of Culture, and you can support each other. And even you can find these ideas for development of your project. You don't need Europe or you don't need somebody else. You are here, big and great team to develop your projects. But also we are not far. Riga is just 3 hours drive.
That's true. And some of you who are good in math already know that 2024 there will be 10 years from Riga's European Capital of Culture, and maybe we can do some legacy projects together or find some good partners from there. Yeah, but Emily, what are the questions from the audience?
Vox Populi, Vox Dei, the most popular question from Christina Tammets. Can you bring an example of the successful grassroots projects you had in the program? Grassroots.
Yes, I can. Big cleanup. This is first successful project, which is international project, which has good, very, so far I know, historical roots also in Estonia. But this was inspiration for many grassroots projects we did in the program line roadmap. Repairing yards. We selected concrete yards. We invited the inhabitants to apply. This was first step of their activity that they decide, let's apply to repair and to make more creative our yard. This is a big decision because you know that not always just one family live in the house. We had even one house where one part of the house decided to repair and to make something new in the yard. Another don't like that. And it was 3 or 4 times discussions between them. One said, let's do here the children's playground. Another said, no, no, no. And say, but this was anyway a successful process because finally they did it. Of course, they decide how, also those who don't agree with that, agree for some innovations there. And and it was good. It was a very good project about filming, making films. Young film directors was invited to apply, take part in workshop with art directors about suburbs, life in suburbs. So this was very good, and these films are still in internet. Very good films. Oh, it's this what I already mentioned. The project seniors and children's. Senior houses and activities of classes, something doing together. And what was one what I wanted to mention? Okay.
Okay. Another very, very popular question from our developers. Mina is asking, did you measure the impact your activities had on those 25% who usually don't participate in cultural events? Did you measure the impact of those people? 85. What did I say? 85. 85, yeah, yes, 85. Yes. You mentioned 85, I'm sorry. How and what were the results if you measured the impacts?
We did research just after the social research, just after European Capital of Culture. And they did first, as they said, that impact and results of our project will be visible 7 years after. This what they did. This research, what they did just after, in the beginning of 2015, it was what I could say, just numbers, probably without deeper evaluation, because it's not possible to do in such a short time. Of course, it was a problem after, because then we had money for that. After, sorry, but nobody is interested in European capital culture more. So this is the real life. But different research on the audience is made not exactly to European Capital of Culture projects, but in general, and numbers raising. This is what is possible to say after social research is that I think that we reached our aim to raise this active part of cultural consumers.
Okay, I ask my favorite question from anonymous somebody. How early did you start with the pre-events? Was it in 2013, 2012?
It was already for 2012 because our budgeting started in 2012. We had, I can tell in some words, our process. We was accepted as European Capital of Culture in 2009. Then we made open call. We have got, on 2010, we have got 340 ideas of the projects. Some very good elaborated projects, some, let's say, middle level, near to nothing for European Capital of Culture program. 2/3 of these 340 projects we throwed back to the project developers and said, try again. Make something which is some higher, bigger, and wider in the meaning of content of your project. And after that, already on 2011 was accepted the budget, which we start to make agreements with developers in the end of 2011. And so some activities will happen also already on 2012.
Did I understand correctly? But you didn't do much. There were just a few examples before.
Yeah, just the 2 examples. And this is part of, practically this was part of communication strategy. Because already from 2012 we did this idea of European Capital of Culture live with something happen in the city, something to prepare audience to be ready to wait something.
Mari Kalkun is asking, member of our creative board or creative council, how did Riga 2014 affect international relations in arts field, and can you still feel the impact today in 2020? Some good examples, maybe.
Yes, of course. It's examples could be, as I already said, museums which now do many good exhibitions in collaboration with big international museums. It's many non-governmental institutions which have bring to Riga many international performances and artists, which this is, if you ask, show me, say numbers and show me concretely, this is not so easy. But if you compare how the cultural process was on 2010 and now, it's totally different, and this rise of that was very, very quick after European Capital of Culture. For example, Light Festival, Starva Riga. Before 2014, I had only local artists. Now, every international light artist know Riga Festival and want to be in our program. because we just now finished the open call, and unfortunately we can't take them because of the budgets, because budgets of our artists are much more lower than budgets of European artists. But of course, this year is different with COVID.
And I think this is the last question. I know how much both Estonians and Latvians love mistakes. So it's great to bring them out. But I believe that the proactive part of this love is that we also love to learn from the mistakes, different parts too. So the question is, did you also make mistakes that you recommend to avoid?
Of course we made mistakes, but you know how it is. My personal opinion that not mistake is important. Important is what you do when you understand that you made a mistake and how you go out of that. That's why in my mind always stays this process that what we're doing after a mistake, and not so easy to say about some concrete mistakes. I would say that we have not something what we can call big mistakes in our process. That's why also Riga 2014 project was one of very positive evaluated in Europe. And it was unbelievable for me when I went to Brussels for just 2 or 3 years after. And it was one conference, and I said that I am from Riga 2014. They said, Riga 2014, this positive example of European capital of culture. So, oh, great. I didn't know that even, that it's so evaluated so high. But you know how it is. I think that mistake is not right word. This is... maybe this is how to say, you have to evaluate each situation from best what you can reach in this concrete case. And you can reach some very good result, you can not feel everything, and you can probably, as I said, you probably don't know why you are doing, then better to stop to do that. But mistakes, it's difficult to make mistake in the cultural life.
Yes. Thank you, Diana, for a thorough overview. And please join us for lunch, and the others can ask questions as well. So thank you all.